You didn't want to be interviewed with Jack White, but Jack, listen, you're on Detroit this year. The Red Wings, 2 years ago, you won it. You're back for another try.
Yeah, we'll win it again this year.
You think so?
Yeah, no problem.
Well, what was the big problem last year with Boston?
Boston, we had a couple emotional problems. You know, we're going through some tough times, but that's behind us. Cashman decided, you know, that he got a new job with the Rangers, so there's no more Boston. So Detroit, we're back with Detroit, hoping we can stick with the club, and we're on our way.
The big question this year, everybody's asking is he going to keep his foot out of his mouth, and how's the big toe?
No,
How
it's
is it?
fine this year, and we're going to be right out there in the first game, and we're going to get a hell of a shot tomorrow night. I think we play Toronto, Gord, I think. And might get a piece of Frank Mahovlich or Red Kelly, you know, if they got their head down, we'll be all right.
You know, Jack White told me that you injured your big toe because you were kicking the guys. You weren't really on the ice.
I stopped the shot last year.
No, he told me you were kicking him in the dressing room.
No, that's a lot of BS, they call it.
Kachuk?
Can you say Kachuk?
Yeah, anytime I got a cold, I can handle Kachuk.
Now, Gordie, you said that basically his big toe was a bunch of BS, wasn't it? I mean, was Gadsby really hurt?
No, but his underwear was wet.
Now, first off, now what we have here, actually, we have a rookie because the Rangers, an expansion team coming in this year. Now, let's start off because everyone's going to be asking, how do you pronounce your last name, just so we're all sure about it?
Once again, well, it's Kachuk. I've done this about a zillion times, and it's Kachuk again.
Okay, for short, if you can't pronounce that, you call him Walt. But Walt, how do you feel down here for the first Can-Am hockey tournament, going for the Stanley Cup?
Well, I'm going to get one more chance at it, I guess. I haven't got it. I played with New York for all those years and came close a lot of times, but nothing. Maybe this year I'll get one now, finally.
Red's story, first of all. Red is back to call some more games. You going to open your eyes this year?
No, I'm going to try to be consistent. They don't expect anything good, and I'm not going to let them down.
Who's been giving you the most problems? Gordie's been mouthing off, and Gadsby after you all the time?
Well, that Gads has been giving me a tough time for over 30 years. He's not going to stop. He was in the lobby when I came in, miserable, scowling, sarcastic. So I'm going to be just as nice to him on the ice.
All right, and you know, we talked about Gadsby last year and his broken ankle, broken toe. You don't believe any of that stuff, Lefty Wilson.
He lies.
I agree.
There's not one of these kids can shoot a puck to break his toe.
So what was he doing? Just getting out of the game?
Just goofing off as usual, but he thinks, you know, see, he pulls the wool over this new organization, but he don't pull it over the left-hander.
The left-hander knows what's going on. Who do you think's going to win this year? Red, I mean, Leafs are defending champs. Can they repeat?
I don't know. I think Detroit's going to have a pretty good run at it. They got some pretty good skaters out there this year, but they haven't spoken to me yet, so I haven't.
No money's come your way?
I haven't seen the script, and they'll be good as long as Gadsby pulls a groin in the first game.
Got to start with Red Kelly, though, because the Leafs are the defending Stanley Cup champs. Always tough to repeat, Red, I guess, when you've won it once.
Yes, it is, because you're the team that they're all out to get. You were the winners, so every team that you play is going to be out there to knock you off.
Now, when you came in last year, did you expect to win the Cup with the team you had?
I always expect to win. Never go in with the expectations of anything else but winning.
You guys, all free agents, you and Leo.
I'll be right back.
Free agents. You're on Detroit. This is where your heart really is.
Well, yeah, the money brought me back. What can I say?
How much they paid? $25,000, I heard.
Oh, bonus.
Oh, bonus. How much are you getting?
I was going to go to Europe. Going to play with Rutsalainen and going to play D with him, but...
Did you hate Ted Sater as well?
Ted never did me any favors.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Can-Am's third annual Reach for the Stars. Once again, we are in for an exciting week of hockey action this year in Lake Placid. You remember 2 seasons ago, the Detroit Red Wings won the Stanley Cup? Well, last year, Detroit found how difficult it was to repeat as the Toronto Maple Leafs dethroned the defending champs as the Maple Leafs took home the Stanley Cup. This year, we have an expansion team. The New York Rangers are in, the Boston Bruins are out. Last year, the Chicago Blackhawks found, well, they couldn't win a game. So, who will win the Cup this year? Detroit and Toronto found how hard it was to keep it. Will Chicago take it? Will New York take it? We'll find out this week in Lake Placid as we are in for some more exciting hockey action.
Okay, let's go.
With the opening face-off of the 1986 Reach for the Stars program, the Toronto Maple Leafs defense of the Stanley Cup officially begins. Former champs, the Detroit Red Wings, put an immediate crimp in their plans as Dan Coburn breaks the ice, spawning Detroit a 1-0 advantage just 2:26 into the game. Down 2-1, Toronto standout Don Lidstone in his second full season with the club converts a Frank Mahavlich centering pass to knot the game at 2. Unfortunately for Toronto, the celebration was short-lived as Leo Burgo of Detroit spotted the Red Wings a 3-2 advantage. Moments later, Detroit controls the face-off deep in Toronto territory. They work the perimeter before spotting John Courtney down low. You'll find that Courtney is positioned just off the crease. He goes to the backhander and spots Detroit a 4-2 advantage with less than 6 seconds remaining in the first period. Pardon my sudden attack of ESP, but as it turns out, I was just a tad ahead of myself. There was Lidstone with his second of the game supporting my crystal ball to make it a 4-2 Detroit lead, 6:54 into the second period. But as luck would have it, Toronto tried to keep the momentum working in their favor. The Leafs' Don Nystrom spots a streaking Frank Mahavlich up the slot. The big end, Mahavlich goes to the backhander, and the Toronto Maple Leafs pull within one. And the momentum shifted. Both clubs exchanged goals to close out the second period. Courtney with his second for Detroit, Nystrom for Toronto. But that's before Al Cleland's one-timer gives Detroit some breathing room and a 6-4 advantage. Mr. Hockey Gordie Howe followed that up at 5:57 for a 7-4 Detroit lead from Jack White and Steve Katz. Then Cleland finds a wide-open Steve Katz on right wing. He pushes it past the Toronto netminder. 8-4 Detroit with about 14 minutes remaining in regulation time. But the defending champions display a gutsy, never-say-die attitude as Red Kelly spots Don Nystrom off the crease.
Number 16, Don Nystrom. The assist for Red Kelly. The time, 14:50.
That cut Detroit's lead to 8-5. On the ensuing face-off, the Red Wings have trouble once again in their own zone. Who else but Red Kelly comes up with the loose change? He works the puck deep into Detroit territory before feathering a pass out front to Frank Mahavlich. But the comeback comes up 2 strides short. Detroit knocks off the Leafs 8-6. I'm Chris Mattson. Let's go downstairs to Kenny Daniels.
A very hard-fought game tonight. The Detroit Red Wings winners over the Toronto Maple Leafs by a final score of 8-6. Defenseman Red Kelly of the Leafs. You guys were never ahead in this game, and that seemed to be a big problem. Playing catch-up hockey is always difficult.
It is. We were always behind and trying to catch up, and we came close, got within 1 goal, 4-3, but then we gave up. And every time we seemed to give up a bad goal, or at least bad goal from our point of view, right after we get close and they'd pull away. And then, so we were always fighting uphill and had a lot of chances, but we couldn't put the puck in the ocean.
You guys, you hit some goalposts on a couple of occasions. That must help deflate a club as well.
Well, especially when you need it. It's Frank hit 2 or 3 posts there, I know, at least that many, and a couple of the other guys did too. And we had some openings, but we couldn't thread the needle, and that was the difference. If we'd have taken advantage of some of the chances we had, and I think we gave up a few what we would consider maybe easy goals. They should, that we should have been a little tougher in our own end.
And especially to start the third period, you guys were only down 5-4, and all of a sudden Detroit comes out and scores 3 quick goals, puts you way behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, that sort of, if we come out and had scored one, and we stayed right with them. It might have been different at the end, but they played well. They were skating, and when they got a break, they capitalized on it.
Is Detroit that good, or Toronto can play with them with a few breaks?
Well, I think I'd like to get another whack at them. I think we could give them a good battle anyway. Who knows who'd win, but it'd be a good battle. They have a pretty good club, and their goaltending, I thought, played well. And so the combination of everything was what beat us, I guess.
Okay, Red Kelly, best of luck to you. Budweiser third star was John Courtney of the Detroit Red Wings with 2 goals and 1 assist tonight. John, a rookie, your first game here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The pressure on you and you came up big.
Oh, well, I've been sick all week. I didn't feel too good when we practiced this morning. The coach told me I'd be skating with Gordie Howe, so that kind of got me up. When Gordie's passing the puck to you, you better put it in the net. So that's what I did, and fortunately we won the game.
It must be fairly easy playing with Gordie Howe because he passes you the puck, but is the pressure there?
Yeah, I felt some pressure. I was concerned about whether I could convert a Gordie Howe pass, and Gordie got open, and that's all there is to it. He's a wizard with that puck, and really did all the work for me.
How is Detroit looking to you? You guys have a good skating team. Did you see any weaknesses in your game tonight?
I thought we had some problems handling the Mahavlich line. Our defense let us down a couple of times, but I thought we had some good goaltending, and we killed some penalties. And I think we look pretty good.
Okay, John Courtney, best of luck to you and the Detroit Red Wings. And after this message from Budweiser, we'll be back with tonight's second star. Tonight's second star is from the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 16, Don Nystrom. 2 goals and 2 assists tonight. In case you didn't know, Don Nystrom is a Bud rep, so Don couldn't be with us tonight. He had a previous engagement after the game, had to run out, so Don, this Bud's for you. And now, tonight's first star of the game, 1 goal, 2 assists. He played really well, especially a guy on your line, Leo Bourgault, on your left, must make it fairly easy for you, Al.
Every time the puck comes around on his side, hits me right in the stick, and away we go. Talking to me all the time, so it's no problem knowing where he is.
What did Bill Gadsby tell you guys before this game? I mean, before the playoffs started, Detroit was the favorite going in. Did Bill tell you guys to keep it level, not get your heads too high?
He didn't say much till after the second period. We were going back out, and he told us to get off our ass, so.
In no uncertain terms, I guess.
We understood what he meant, yeah.
And you did. You came out very quickly in that third period with 3 fast goals. That put Toronto way behind.
Yeah, I think the goal that Steve Katz scored when Leo banged the puck out and we were lucky enough to get a 2-on-1, and I threw it over and he just banged it right in the top corner. Real good shot from Steve.
And I guess for yourself, coming over from Boston as a free agent, you like to show the Bruins they shouldn't let you go.
Well, with the bonus and all, I wanted to do something good the first game, so.
So money talks?
Money talks.
Okay, Al Cleland, this Bud's for you. We'll be back with tonight's second game, the New York Rangers against the Chicago Blackhawks. Once again, the final score, Detroit 8, the Toronto Maple Leafs 6.
Game 2 at Olympic Hockey Center had the reach for the Stars' latest edition, the New York Rangers, playing the league's doormats from a year ago, the Chicago Blackhawks. You may remember the Blackhawks were 0 for 5 in '85, and the Blackhawks got off to a shaky start as New York controlled the opening faceoff. The veteran Walt Kachuk picks Bob Macy's pocket. The Rangers then go on to work the near boards. Kachuk to Ambrose. Chico Stahl will make the initial save, but Jay Friedman wraps in the rebound. New York leads it 1-0. But New York's 1-0 advantage was short-lived at the 14-minute mark after Len Clarkin had bought Chicago the equalizer. Clarkin with a nice drop pass to rookie Bob Macy, who whistles a wrist shot past a stunned Owen Wismer, a 2-1 Chicago advantage. Let's pick up second period action with the game now tied at 2. John Mosewitz on the backhander puts New York up 3-2 for a glimmer of hope at 7:25. But that paled in comparison to the gleam in Chicago's eyes. Chris Keller goes to the backhand to notch his first of 2. That would be the first of 5 straight goals for Chicago. Len Clarkin spots a streaking Dennis Hull up ice. Hull goes top shelf. The Hawks grab a 4-3 lead. From there, the boys never looked back as Terry Notko closes out the scoring in the game. Hawks win it 7-3. Next up, a battle of the unbeatens as Chicago meets Detroit. I'm Chris Mattson. Now let's go down to Kenny Daniel.
Welcome to tonight's 3-star selection, the Budweiser 3 stars. The third star of tonight's game from the New York Rangers, John Mosewitz, who scored 2 big goals for New York. The game was very close in the early going, but I guess, John, the big problem was that in that third period, Chicago came out 5 unanswered goals. You let them come out quickly in that third. That had to be the downfall.
Right. I think they got us running around, and they took advantage of it.
Chicago had some great net mining tonight as well. Those 2 didn't show in the star selection, but they were good. You guys had your problems.
Yeah, both teams, goaltending, I kept everybody in the game. And I think it was just the forwards on Chicago really pulled them through.
Now, what do you guys have to do to bounce back?
We're going to rest up for tomorrow, come back, and we're going to have to learn to play some position.
Now, you're playing tomorrow against a team that also hasn't won yet, so...
Should be a good game. So we're looking forward to it.
Okay, John, thank you. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right. And continuing on with tonight's Budweiser 3-star selection, the second star from tonight's game, number 24 from the Chicago Blackhawks, Terry Notko. Terry notched 1 goal and 3 assists tonight. Terry, I guess playing with Dave Hansen must really help.
I'll tell you, Dave just said, just tell me when you want the puck, I'll set you up. And he set Chris and I up all night, and I tell you, he's just great in the middle.
Your line was buzzing. Did you discuss anything what you wanted to do before the game started?
No, basically what Stan said before the game and Dak was that we should stay outside in the hash marks and don't get too jammed up in the net and don't let all 3 of us go behind the net. So we kind of do, keep that going, and it worked well for our line tonight.
They say anything to you guys between periods when the game was so close? You guys came out exploding in that third.
No, basically, as Dak was taking pictures and Stan had to take a whiz, but other than that, we just did the same thing as we normally do.
Now, Dave Hansen, he didn't bring any cars down to play with, did he?
Oh, we saw Dave's car. We saw him park it, and hopefully maybe one of us will drive him up.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. This Bud's for you, Terry Notko. We'll be back with more Budweiser three-star selections right after this. And as promised, here's that commercial break. This Bud's for you, and the Bud tonight is for Chris Keller. And just before I speak to Chris, let me hand this back to Stan. He's dying for that. Chris Keller, a big game tonight. 2 goals and 1 assist. Were you doing anything differently than you used to do playing hockey? You played so well tonight.
No, basically I was just going up and down my wing, and we were trying to stay spread out mostly because it's a big ice surface, and stay in our lanes. And fortunately, it worked well for us. We were pretty disciplined.
Now, I asked Terry Notko this question about playing with Dave Hansen. It's pretty easy playing with him?
Oh, yeah, he's a nice guy, and he also works real hard and sets us up real nice. He's a quality fellow.
I guess you believe in playing both ends of the ice. Right at the end when the Rangers had a good chance, you lifted the fellow's stick in front of the net and took it away. Good back checking as well.
Over the years, I've been playing a little bit of defense, so it's kind of in my blood. So I knew between the second and third period when we got the lead by 1 goal, if we could get 1 or 2, we could break their back. And then once we got that, we went to old Chicago Blackhawk hockey and played good defensive hockey after that. We didn't let a goal in the third period.
And you weren't here last year with Chicago, and I'll tell you, this is their first win in 2 years. Feels good?
Yeah, it feels real good. I knew the guys wanted to win, and especially the coaching staff wanted to win, so we worked real hard today. Hopefully we can keep it going.
Okay, Chris, this Bud's for you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
We have the coaches of Blackhawks. I don't know who to begin with, but Stan Mikita's got the Bud, so...
this Bud's for me.
This Bud's for Stan, and you don't have one, so we'll start with Stan. You were here last year. You guys didn't win 1 game. Is there a world that's been taken off your shoulders?
Oh, you better believe it. I just feel like all of Doc's weight that he lost has been taken off my shoulders. You'll notice that I can barely talk. It's a tough job out there coaching, but as Doc will tell you, somebody's got to do the dirty work, and he and I were selected for this week. By the way, Doc, I want to congratulate you on your first win ever.
Thank you.
As a coach. And I must say that besides the superior play that the Chicago Blackhawks players showed, I thought the Rangers were very much outcoached.
That was the big thing, was coaching?
Very much so, yes, sir. Yeah.
So you're a better coach than you are a player?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Does this mean you're going to retire for good?
I heard that Pulford had some scouts here watching Doc and I, not the players. I mean, these guys are has-beens, right? But he and I, we might have a new profession.
What do you think about that, Doc? I mean, you're the full-time coach. You know, Stan might give it up, but how do you feel about that?
I could never have done what I did tonight without the expertise of Stan Mikita. He is the greatest.
You guys have a mutual admiration society going here? Or?
Well, I would say yes. I won't deny that. But after losing all the games last year and being a coach this year, I can't tell you the elation of having won. And without Stan and the players, the way they played, doing what we told them to do, we couldn't have done it. And we're very, very pleased.
Now, tomorrow, the Chicago Blackhawks, 1-0, take on the 1-0 Detroit Red Wings. They're a good club.
We're ready for them. It doesn't make any difference who's out there. We're going to get them.
And I know Stan would like to get Gordie Howe and Bill Gadsby.
Well, I'd like to, but unfortunately I can't suit up, and I do apologize to all the players especially. But we've got some people on our team, the personnel that we have. Some of the guys have been watching the Chicago Bears, and they said they're going to go out and kick ass tomorrow.
Are you Mike Ditka? Would you compare yourself to Mike Ditka?
Mike who?
Yeah, exactly. This is Stan who? Stan Mikita, Doc Rogers, the Chicago Blackhawks with a big win over the New York Rangers, final score of 8-3, as we mentioned. Chicago now 1-0. They will take on big. They will take on the big Detroit Red Wings, who are also 1-0, and also tomorrow the winless, I guess, Toronto Maple Leafs will take on the also winless now New York Rangers. More exciting action this week from Lake Placid.
All right, bring him on.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the second night of exciting hockey action here in Lake Placid at the Olympic Center. Tonight's games feature 2 winning teams and 2 losing teams. Tonight's first game, the Chicago Blackhawks will take on the Detroit Red Wings, both those clubs winners in Game 1. Tonight's second feature match, the New York Rangers against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Both those clubs came up on the short end just last night. Coming up, the highlights of tonight's first game involving the Detroit Red Wings and Chicago Blackhawks. Let's go upstairs to Chris Mattson.
Thank you, Kenny. As you well know, it was billed as a battle of the unbeatens as Chicago and Detroit faced off in Game 2 of the Reach for the Stars series. And it took Chicago just 3 minutes, 30 seconds to draw first blood as defenseman Chris Mattson threaded a pass to Dennis Hull, who poked it past Detroit goaltender Stan Lasky. Chicago 1-0. Detroit's Rick Trober scored to knot the game at 1 apiece after the first period. And the Red Wings grab a 2-1 advantage just 1 minute into the second period on Jack White's bullet into a wide-open net. The next goal was a pivotal one, though. Chicago's Chris Mattson makes his way down the right wing boards. His slap shot is wide of the Red Wing cage, but the carom is picture perfect. Dennis Hull wraps in the rebound. The game's tied at 2 apiece. But not for long. 3 minutes, 11 seconds later, the play goes Hansen to Mattson. The initial stop is made, but Bob Macy picks up the pieces and scores on the power play to make it 3-2 with less than 3 minutes left in the second period. In the third, nurturing a 1-goal lead in Chicago on the power play, Dave Lerman's pass is picked off by Al Cleland. He quickly unleashes Gordie Howe on the breakaway. The save is made by Stahl. The rebound just misses the inside right post. The Blackhawks dodge the bullet. And that hurt because on the very same power play, Len Clarkin scores what would be the eventual game winner at 5:24. Dennis Hull made it 5-2 before Al Cleland picks up a Jack White rebound and scores from an impossible angle to make it 5-3. But as luck would have it, just 30 seconds later, Chris Keller proves to be a one-man wrecking crew, finding Dave Hansen on the give and go. Hansen scores to make it 6-3 Chicago. Hansen would then go on to score just 18 seconds later as the Blackhawks wrap up a 7-3 victory over the Detroit Red Wings. Next up for the unbeaten Chicago Blackhawks, the Toronto Maple Leafs at Olympic Hockey Center. I'm Chris Mattson. Let's go downstairs to Kenny Daniels.
All right, thank you, Chris Mattson. And now we have our Budweiser 3-star selections, and the third star tonight from the Detroit Red Wings with 1 goal and 1 assist, defenseman Jack White. Of course, the defense for the Red Wings didn't have a great night all around, save for yourself, but what was the problem this evening?
I think it was tough for everybody. I think Chicago played very well. They're motivated. They're coming right at you. Seems like it's about a 3-on-2 all the time. And they played extremely well. They got them working pretty hard, and they just keep coming at you.
Did you expect that? I mean, Detroit, the talks going in to this competition was that the Red Wings were stacked. They were so powerful. Did you take Chicago a little bit lightly?
No, I don't think that happens. I think having been here before, every day is a new day. You know, it's almost like a season in a week. And you might have a good night, but the next night you got to go back down and work as hard as you can. And Chicago, hey, they played really well. We wanted to win. We had a couple moments where it looked pretty good for us, but we just weren't able to beat their goalies, and they played extremely well. So I don't think you take anybody lightly. You just you play as hard as you can. You get tired. You know, sometimes you get the breaks, sometimes you don't. It was a good game.
You lose this game coming up, the New York Rangers. What do you think Gadsby will have to say to you fellas before that one?
Well, I think we'll probably be in bed early tonight. I think that's the final result.
Okay, let's hope Jack White gets a good night rest, and the rest of the Detroit Red Wings will be back with tonight's second star after this message from Budweiser.
Thanks again, Kenny. You know, their records may have stood at 0-1, but that didn't dampen the enthusiasm as the Maple Leafs and Rangers met at Olympic Hockey Center. As referee Red Story conducted the game's opening faceoff, you could feel the electricity as both clubs bid to reach the 500 mark. Just 5 minutes into the game, Don Lindstone lets loose with a wicked wrist shot to open the scoring. Trailing 2-0 by the 18-minute mark, New York's Wayne Ambrose slices the Leafs' lead in half, 2-1 Toronto after the first 20 minutes of play. Both clubs merely exchanged goals before Don Lindstone struck again, spotting the Leafs a 4-2 advantage at the 7:30 mark. But moments later, persistence will pay off for New York. Just look at Tom Howell finding Rich Cassidy out front. He feeds John Mosewitz. The Rangers trail by 1, 4-3. Mark Gilligan scored for Toronto, and then from the ensuing faceoff, Don Lindstone fights off the check only to complete the hat trick. Mark it up 6-3 Toronto. New York host star Vic Hadfield exchanged 2 goals apiece with Leaf forward Don Nystrom. This Nystrom goal with 2 seconds left puts the Leafs on top 8-5 after 2 periods of play. The Rangers now have just 20 minutes to make it or break it. Gasping for breath, the Rangers scored twice to start the third. John Mosewitz tally at 2:05 pulls the Rangers to within 1. But now sit back and watch a money player at work. The Big M, Frank Mahavlich, with a bullet past Owen Wismer. Mahavlich then goes to the wrist shot, 10-7 Toronto. And Mahavlich out front to Don Nystrom, who completes the hat trick, 11-7 Maple Leafs. New York closes out the scoring with goals from Jay Friedman and Tom Howell, but it's the Toronto Maple Leafs pulling to 1-1 with an 11-9 victory over the New York Rangers, who fall to 0-2. Our regular season finales will pitch Chicago against Toronto and New York against Detroit. I'm Chris Mattson. For more, let's go to Kenny Daniels.
Well, this second game tonight, Chris Mattson, it was a battle of, I guess you could call them losers, but now one is no longer a loser. The Toronto Maple Leafs victorious tonight. Head coach Johnny Bauer, how'd your team play out there?
I thought they played very, very well. I thought everybody certainly put a good effort. It was a wide-open hockey game, very interesting, a lot of shots on goal, and, you know, we lost the first game against Detroit, and the fellas realized that we got to start working a little bit harder, and they did tonight. They proved. They scored a lot of goals to win, and it was a great effort by the whole team.
Now, I don't want to say an old goalkeeper like yourself, so we'll say a young goalkeeper like yourself. You don't like to see that many goals going in.
Not really, no. Well, actually here, we sort of more or less like to play offensive than defensive, and right now, you know, as the week goes by, I think we'll probably tighten up a little bit on our defense to help our goaltenders out a little.
Okay, and Johnny Bauer, you got here, I guess, about partway through the first period, returning from King Clancy's funeral. A pretty harrowing experience for yourself on the way home.
Well, that's right. I mean, we went down there, and it was certain, you know, we lost a very great dear friend, and Mr. Clancy has been a great ambassador to hockey and in the National Hockey League, and he certainly be missed by everyone. But it was tough. And this morning, when we didn't think we'd get away because of the snow, but we waited and we managed to get up, and we got there just about 12:15, and we had a little bit of problems with the plane and then coming back, but. I reached for my beads a couple of times, and everything went fine.
A good thing Bruce Hood can pull cables.
Oh, yeah, Bruce had to pull a little cable here and there, and our plane wouldn't start, so we had to get a truck and some boosters and start the plane, and it worked fine after that. Everything was just great.
Sounds like you got that plane from Sam Drucker's General Store. Thank you, Johnny Bauer. We'll be back with tonight's Budweiser 3-star selections after this.
We welcome you to the Olympic Arena in Lake Placid, New York, where yours truly, Gene Hart, along with Dick Beto, is happy to bring you this year's Reach for the Stars Stanley Cup Consolation game between the New York Rangers and the Detroit Red Wings, and some veterans and some great referees. Dick Beto.
How marvelous they are. Those of us of a certain vintage, Gene, like you and me, we read Story, of course, who was the referee-in-chief and outstanding when he was a referee. Bruce Hood just retired from a similar role. So it's vintage time, and what a marvelous sort of experience for a week for these guys to come in and play with Howe and those sorts of people, Gene.
Well, right now, Al Cleland for Detroit rings the face-off from the former New York Ranger, Walt Tkachuk, and right now, Detroit with the puck at center ice. It's cleared in along the near side by Leo Borgo. Randy White in pursuit. It's picked off by New York's defense, Steve Lamont. In there, Jay Friedman. The puck loose to White. Jack White in front and shoots wide to the far corner. Al Cleland in there first for Detroit, offensive left corner. Looks, tries to play it in front, does, and it's tapped away nicely by Steve Lamont. And out break the Rangers at center ice. Tkachuk to Lamont, down that right wing side. Drops back to Tkachuk. Angles, looks for the trailer at the point, gets into the left circle. Plays off to the left side, Lamont. In front, tapped away nicely by the Rangers. And Detroit, though, takes it away. In the Detroit end, it's played out at center ice by Jack White. Al Cleland can handle the dump in, and Steve Lamont for the Rangers fires it out to center ice. And here comes New York forechecking against Jack White, who wheels it around to his own defensive left wing side. Wayne Ambrose keeps it in for New York, but the Red Wings take it right back and storm to center ice. Borgo over the line on the right side to Randy White. Drops the Borgo in, and a shot that's smothered by the Ranger defense. Rolls through the crease. Shot, score!
How about that, Gene? The Ranger goaltender goes to his knees, and bingo, couldn't handle the rebound. 1-0 for the Red Wings.
Al Cleland scores that goal, and it comes unofficially at 1:24 of the opening period.
Al Cleland, 5'8" inches, and he's 190 pounds. And he's Glendale, California, where he now lives, but used to be in Toronto.
Well, I guess you're never used to be in Toronto. Once a Torontonian, always, right?
Torontonian, thanks, Gene.
Right, the Rangers are stripped of the puck at center ice. Dan Coburn out there, along with Howe, and on the right side, John Courtney. Back defensively, Daniger on the right side, and on the left, Fred Thomas. The Wings throw a nice move into the zone, right past Tom Howell of the Rangers, but offside Detroit.
What's the story this week? Is Howe throwing the elbows that we used to all hear about, Gene, or is he being a gentleman this time? Hard to believe it.
Does it snow in Norway? Does Howe throw elbows?
He's the Polka Catholic, sure. We've had some elbows, in other words.
The puck is dropped very quickly by Red Story and controlled by Daniger for Detroit. Craig Daniger on the far side to Courtney. Courtney has the puck stripped away, and it's sent by Nadolski to center ice. Gordie Howe through on the left wing. A return pass is stripped away by Nadolski of the Rangers and shot to center ice. Craig Daniger along the near side to Courtney. Courtney stripped, and Vic Hatfield. Remember that gag line of Hatfield, Rattel, and Gilbert? Works in along the near side, but is stripped of the puck by Gordie Howe.
50 goals one year.
Yeah. First 50 goal scorer in Ranger history. Daniger up through. Craig has the puck stripped away by Hatfield. On the far side, Randy White rolls it in along the right wing corner, where it's picked up by Fred Thomas of Detroit. Sent through. Dan Coburn to center ice, where the puck is up for grabs. Howe tries to play through, but Howe breaks it up, and Hatfield falls along the near side and seems to be shaken up a bit, but is smiling. I guess he realized he wasn't hit by Gordie Howe, and that's a reason for anyone to smile.
I was lining him up there a moment ago, but he fell down anyway. That would be kind of the reverse sort of thing that happens, reverse English, with Howe. A lot of guys fell down, like from a waving breeze of his stick or his elbow. He was something.
Well, we have a courageous New York Ranger out there, Roger Redford. Courageous because he wears the number 13. On his right is Murray Moskowitz, and on the left side, Barry Maloney. Defensively, they have Lamont. The Detroit Red Wings win the draw. Katz is out with Cleland, who is the goal scorer, and Bill Wilson, who wears the 99, but that's the only comparison to Wayne Gretzky. It's poked back to the point. Long drive, cut off in front of that. That one generated by the Rangers' Murray Moskowitz. Picked off there by Roger Redford. Redford dumps a backhand pass into the crease. Maloney can't handle it for New York, and out breaks Detroit on the right wing at center ice. Cleland through, fakes the shot, right out in front of backhander, smothered beautifully by goaltender Owen Wismer, and that kept the score 1-0 Detroit.
Whelan made a grand move to beat the defenseman. In fact, he made a grand move earlier to beat the right winger, and the goaltender only made the stop. Some kind of a move by Cleland.
Cleveland will take the offensive draw, wins it back to Jack White. Slap shot from the point. Good elbow save by Owen Wismer. It's controlled by the Ranger. Detroit behind the net. They try to stop. Down goes a Ranger to defenseman. He's looking pleadingly at Red Story. He says, no, that was legal. Cleveland in front. Trying to find the tip on that far side was Billy Wilson. Couldn't find the handle, and the Rangers come to center ice along the right wing. Redford at the blue line. Chips one in on the goaltender, Steve Lasky. Lasky on the near side, and it's played out to center ice, and Detroit has a possible 2-on-1. Down that right side. Katz busting into the zone right out in front, and it's cleared away from the goal mouth, and the Rangers play it up at center. Picked off by Al Cleland at the Ranger line. Cleland waits for his line to clear. Has to wait a little long for Steve Katz, who finally comes out, and then Cleveland penetrates, drives one off the goaltender. Wismer steers it off the blocker to his right, and New York comes to center ice and are stripped of the puck as we have 14:35 remaining in the first period. Al Cleland's goal at 1:24 of the first period, giving Detroit a 1-0 lead in this consolation game. At center ice, Detroit with Katz out on the defense and Ted Herman, and now make a wholesale line change. And out for Detroit comes Gordie Howe as Lamont chased back into his zone by Howe, flips it up in the left wing at center ice. Daniger for the Red Wings penetrates right circle drive. That's blocked by defenseman Lamone to the far corner. No control by Ira Gittler for New York. Howe at the right point with a loose puck. Into the offensive right corner to Craig Daniger. Daniger looks to center, and it's picked off nicely by New York's Walter Kachuk. Behind the net, a wraparound up on the offensive left side for the Rangers. Controlled by Jay Friedman and lost to center ice, where Detroit defenseman Craig Daniger threw on the near side to Randy White. White pushed into the boards and squeezed off by Ranger defenseman Tom Howell. Up on the near side, no penetration. Randy White steals for Detroit. Centering pass, and Kachuk picks it off for New York. Sends it up at center ice, off the stick of Bob Kochi, with the puck up for grabs in the neutral zone. Craig Daniger, right side at center for Howe. Almost taken away, and then taken away by Kachuk. Feeds in on the left side, gets it back from Friedman, shot right on. Good save, centering pass in front, and Jay Friedman can't handle, and it's played out to Randy White, who takes his own Karen pass at center, and is stripped of the puck by Walter Kachuk. Kachuk waits for his line to clear to Jay Friedman. He's got a left circle drive. Right on. Fine save by Lasky as the puck is rolled around to the left side. And Craig Daniger works it up on the right side to Howe. Howe through to Randy White, and it's an offside as Leo Borgo doesn't have that discipline, Dick Beddoes, to stay on the reverse side of his puck carrier.
Gene, you and I see a lot of NHL games, and what's impressive about this, the games you and I see as professionals, a lot more stoppages in play than this thing. This has got lots of action, moving in both directions. Red Wings perhaps a little more impressive offensively.
And good tenacity. At center ice, loose puck cleared into the Detroit zone. Jack White trails into his own right wing corner. Forechecking in there is Goodhue. Neil Goodhue almost takes the puck away, but again, now Cleland, who has the one goal of the game with just 12 minutes remaining in the opening period, sends it to center. Hatfield taps it back in the New York the offensive zone, but Cleland has it. No, stolen away, and we have a whistle, and they call that an offside.
Why was that an offside?
Well, Bruce Hood hasn't blown a whistle in 5 minutes. He said
Listen,
it was his
he
turn.
had to do that, right? Part of the action. It's part of his fee. I thought it was wonderful, Gene, a referee called Hood.
Yeah, particularly for hockey. Yeah, to have in hockey to have a Hood as your #1 official. Of course, in Philadelphia, we thought that was appropriate.
Exactly.
Drop pass in the slot to Cleland. He's stripped of the puck nicely by the Ranger defense, getting right back there, and they shoot it up ice. Trailed into the Detroit zone is Jack White. White around behind the net, sets up. Forechecking is Neil Goodhue, so White sweeps out to the left side of his net. Smartly sends it to center ice, where it's taken off by the Detroit's Cleland. Loose puck at center, and still up for grabs. Hatfield, as he gets a good screen from Ray Nadolski, circles back into his own zone away from the forechecking of John Courtney. Hatfield at center, tried to sweep it through. The Detroit defense is tough, and back come the Red Wings offensively at center ice. Through to Courtney on a good lead pass from Dan Coburn. Skips behind the Ranger net, where it's dug out by Jake Gottfried. Gottfried up on his own right side, picked off by Detroit's Cleland. Right at the goal line to the right, in front trying to find Courtney, but Vic Hatfield is there to pick it off for New York and come away at center ice. Again, we're at Lake Placid. Gene Hart along with Dick Beddoes. Consolation Stanley Cup reach for the Stars. Courtesy of Louisville and a Bauer and, of course, of Budweiser. Puck now cleared from center ice along the near wing behind the Ranger net. In there, trying to center is Courtney, and it's picked off by Howe. Tries a wraparound, looks for the trailer. He has a man on the near side. Open play in front, and it's grabbed off beautifully by goaltender Owen Wismer, who again thwarts a good offensive thrust by Detroit.
How that was set up was how Howe, you know, he's got to be now 58 or 9, and it looks like he still could do those things, Gene, like he's 25. In around behind the net, handle a puck delicately, behind the back pass, and just miss scoring.
You know, somebody asked his son Mark, if your father were playing in the league today, how many goals would he score? And Mark said about 40. And they said, is that all? And Mark says, what the hell, he's 60. Howe working into the right wing corner deftly. Gets past the check, right out in front, a backhand shot. That goes over the glass and behind goaltender Wismer, out of play. And Red Story said that wasn't a deflection. Face-off will come into the neutral zone.
Gene, it's interesting. He's not played Howe for about 8 seasons. I think he got 17 goals the last year he played in the NHL at Hartford.
Yeah. He asked him why he retired. He says, no competition. 9:12 remaining here in the first period. Our consolation game, Detroit and New York, with Detroit leading 1-0. Craig Daniger penetrates to Howe. It skipped through both Howe and Bill Wilson, who was the trailer in front of the net for Detroit. Now they look. There's Steve Katz, and he was set up in the slot, and it skipped right under the stick up at center ice for grabs. Chasing after it, the Rangers have Maloney through into the zone, but it's picked off by the back-checking Howe and sent to center ice past Katz. Billy Wilson chases it at the Ranger line, but Ira Gittler sweeps it to center. Howe penetrates one-on-one with Gittler, swings to the right, coming right out in front, shoots, score!
Oh!
That was vintage Gordie Howe, and Detroit leads 2-0. That goal coming at 11:30 of the first period.
Howe forechecking the puck up at the Ranger line and then made a couple of moving sweeps, slow motion almost, but elegant in its disposition of a goal. Backhand shot on Howe. How often he did that in the big league.
So it's Cleveland at 1:24, and now Howe at 11:30 of the first period, and Detroit leads 2-0. That goal was scored against Owen Wismer, who is from Walled Lake, Michigan, veteran of the reach for the Stars. Said he wanted to play in front of people like Kachuk and Hatfield, and he's had that opportunity, but he's been bested by 2 goals. But Howe's done that to a lot of good goaltenders.
Sure has.
Randy White trailing back into his own zone. On his left, he has Ted Herman on the defense. Swings around to the left side of the net. Tries to get it past Kachuk, who blocks it at center. Almost taken back by Leo Borgo, but Kachuk over the line. Oh, he's right on in. Shoot! Good kick save on that side by Lasky. And Detroit gets good goaltending and breaks through on center ice on left wing. Borgo over the line. Looks for a trailer. Now backhands it. Score! Borgo fooled the goaltender Wismer with a backhander going from the goaltenders right to left, and it's 3-0 Red Wings.
Gene, we've seen some good backhand goals. That's 2 we've seen in the last 2. Have been good backhand shots. We don't often see that at the NHL level with much younger guys.
Your colleague, Frank Orr, was in Philadelphia, said that's what he marvels about, the skills coming back into the National Hockey League. He said he's seen more good backhand shots and passes this year than he has in 10.
Indeed, the blade, that would say the blade is straightening out the way it used to be, rather than have the big banana blade, the scoop blade.
Yeah. I guess the last good backhander in the league was probably Davey Keon.
He'd be one of them, certainly, that's right.
Randy White at center ice, down that left wing side, into the Philadelphia zone, or the Philadelphia. There's my old prejudice coming out. Ranger zone, and here comes Kachuk, 2-on-1. One man back, Kachuk up the middle, right on in. Oh, and another grand save. That one taken away from Wayne Amro by goaltender Steve Lasky of Detroit. Kachuk keeps the puck into the offensive left corner for New York. Looks to play it back to Kochi, but it's instead taken by Nadowski. His shot cut off before it reaches the net. They battle in the Detroit defensive right corner. It's given away to the Rangers. Wayne Ambrose tried to find Ira Gittler in front. It comes out to center to Bourgeois. Throw to Randy White. Right on in. Shot. Score! And that one comes at 14 minutes, and Detroit has opened up a 4-0 lead.
Another backhand shot. We've seen 3 in a row go in. Interesting, though, how often it happens. The Rangers mounted pressure, Gene. Lasky makes one big save, and then the return rush leads to a goal. Rangers had good pressure led by Kachuk.
That goal should go down in history as a great play, and unfortunately, Randy Rambo White has an off jersey. His jersey was stolen white by as many fans here in Lake Placid as a souvenir. So he's forced to wear another jersey wearing 19, but let me assure you that is Rambo White. 4-0 for Detroit with 5 minutes remaining in the first period. Daniger sent through into the Rangers zone by Howe right out in front. A shot, and it's blocked off. Rangers battle behind the New York net, and finally Vic Hatfield comes out with it. Up on the far side to Masowitz, and Masowitz drills it into the Detroit zone, where defenseman Fred Thomas is set up by Lasky. The Rangers try to forecheck. Detroit, Daniger, and Howe has it stolen. Masowitz right in front, shot. Where is it? Score! Masowitz scores, and he puts the Rangers on the board at 15-10. New York now trails 4-1.
How about that? Howe loses the puck, and that's rare for him in his own defensive zone. Masowitz grabs it, and right through the goaltender's legs. The first mistake made by Lasky in the Detroit net in this contest. Looks like there's some beef now with Bill Gadsby, who's coaching the Detroit club today, Gene.
Well, Gadsby used to stir up trouble with New York and Detroit. John Masowitz, by the way, is the son of the coach and hails from Medford, New Jersey. Rangers were instrumental in obtaining him in a trade in a preseason shuffle from Chicago. Should add speed to the club, and he just did that and add some scoring punch. Hatfield back for New York as play is on. Drive from the right circle. Lasky with that left elbow as he is a left-handed stick carrier, right-handed glove. Point drive by Steve Lemon. Super save. And that was the best of the game. Howe then tries to help out by poking the puck away from the front of the net. Picked up by Neil Goodhue in the offensive corner to the point. There's a drive by Jay Gottfried, and Howe picks it off for Detroit and storms at center ice with 3:50 remaining. Howe into the zone, feeds in front of the net, picked away nicely as the Rangers back check well, and Gottfried gets it out of harm's way. Jay Gottfried then sends it all the way down the ice. Bruce Hood and Red Story try to combine and agree that is an icing in the first one of the period. 3:25 to play, 4-1 Detroit.
Interesting about the Masowitz is the Ranger coach is Murray Masowitz, Gene, and this is something that's giving him a brand new lease on life, I'm told. He is battling cancer, and one of the things that keeps him going is the fact he's going to be here next year. That's kind of optimistic.
Comes from Browns Mills, New Jersey, which is about a half hour outside of Philadelphia Flyer territory. Oh, right off the shot. The feed to Steve Katz. He puts it home, and it's 5-1 for Detroit.
Right off the face-off. Bingo. Rangers had iced the puck. Therefore, was brought back for a face-off to the left of their goaltender, and bingo, goal. 5-1 Red Wings.
How often have we talked about the importance of winning offensive face-offs, Nick Meadows?
All the time, Gene. Constantly.
Play on at center ice. Cleared into the New York zone, was picked up by Tom Howe. He's being harassed by the goal scorer, Katz. Coming in to help is Jack White, and we get a standoff with a face-off in the Rangers' defensive left circle with 2:15 remaining first period. Detroit in command at 5-1.
What we're seeing, Gene, I think is something that everybody had thought would happen this week. The Red Wings came in here cocky, confident, expected to win it, and they certainly are in command now of the consolation final, but had not played until this point, perhaps as well as everybody thought they could.
Steve Katz has just got to go. There's a shot by Jack White. Katz from Woodland Hills, California, and the offseason operates his own hockey school. The NNHA. Puck behind the Ranger net. Trying a stopper. That doesn't work. And the Rangers get it up to center ice. There's a one-on-one play. Sweeping down that left wing, trying to cut in on the net. There's a play by Loney, a shot. And so it's almost joined his brother with a goal. That would have brought the Rangers within 3, but it stays 5-1 Red Wings with 1:20 remaining in the period.
Red Wings have had some good goaltending. I think we should make that point. Lasky in the cage for them has been, apart from one mistake, keeping his legs open instead of shut, has been quite remarkable.
How often have we said that? Goaltending is the difference.
Boy, you're from a town where Bernie Perrant was Mr. Goaltender when that club was winning the Stanley Cup back-to-back in the 70s. So important.
Lasky is from Toronto, where they've had a history of great goaltending. Sawchuk for a period.
Oh boy, Sawchuk might have been the best that ever lived.
Turk Broda.
Johnny Bauer. Coach of the Maple Leafs here in this reach for the top, reach for the Stars.
Nadowski shot in front. There's a rebound try by Kachuk, and Detroit picks it off. And perhaps the best 1-2 combination for a short time, Plante and Bernie Perrant in Toronto. Craig Daniger works the puck up on his own left wing past the forechecking of Wayne Ambrose of the Rangers. Out takes it at center. Ambrose breaks it up, but it's followed through on the near side and lost by Detroit's Leo Bourgault, who has one of the Red Wing 5 goals. Friedman into the zone for New York, but Howe just shoulders him off, takes the puck, swings and turns into his own right wing corner, and backhands it through at center ice. Bourgault coming along with Randy White. Each of those Red Wings a goal scorer in this first period. Behind the Ranger net, Ray Nadowski of New York takes it away to Kachuk. Kachuk back passes to Nadowski behind the Ranger net. As we come to the end of the first period from the Olympic Arena in Lake Placid, New York, the Reach for the Stars Stanley Cup semifinals, and at the end of 20 minutes of play, it's the Detroit Red Wings 5 on goals by Al Cleland, Gordie Howe, Leo Bourgault, Randy White, and Steve Katz, and the one reply by the New York Rangers from Jay Masowitz.
Clearly, the Red Wings were the better club in that first period, Gene. I think the goaltending, as we talked about, was responsible for Pex keeping the margin at 5-1. There were times when it appeared that the Rangers could break through and perhaps have 3 goals, but on the play, it's been Lasky with some good, advantageous sort of getting in front and taking advantage of ever miscues are made, and forechecking has done it for two of the Detroit goals have been the product of forechecking. Howe principally.
We have changed a goaltender for the Rangers. Greg Mack is in now, replacing Owen Wismer. And he's defending left and to the right side, Mr. Lasky. Now Kachuk steals at center ice. Rangers need offense. He's over the line, one-on-one, into the left circle. Tries to feed it up the middle, but just eludes the play of Wayne Embrew as Detroit trying to come to center. Throws the puck away into the New York end. Nadowski up at center, picked off by Gordie Howe through to Leo Bourgault. And the Rangers do a nice job. Defenseman Nadowski to break it up and tip it into center ice. Howe retreating to his own right side to Craig Daniger. Daniger coming with Howe and Bourgault 2-on-2 into the Ranger zone. And New York takes it off, sends it up on the near wing in, and down the ice deep in Detroit's end. Fred Thomas, the Red Wing defense, around to his colleague on the back line, Craig Daniger. The Rangers pick it off. Ambrose behind the net. Tries to get it away from Fred Thomas for a centering pass for Jay Friedman. But Detroit, tough in their zone, takes it away. Or go up to Howard center ice. Takes a return pass down that left wing. Long drive well wide of the net. And Greg Mack. And it's picked off at the point by Howe. Drive in on the net. Deflected with a good tip by Bourgault. And it's covered by Greg Mack with Bruce Hood stopping play with 18:40 remaining in the second period. 5-1 Red Wings.
With respect to the Red Wing team here this afternoon in this consolation final, reaching for the stars, it's interesting to note that the Trober line, that's Bill Trober, Ed Trober, and Rick Trober, they're from the Midwest, all have gone back to cement a big business deal. They're not here this afternoon. Detroit somewhat understaffed, but still leading.
Again, we've talked about depth of a hockey club, and obviously this Detroit team has it. Courtney behind the net, in front. Slapped up by Dan Coburn. That doesn't come to any offensive gesture for Detroit. And then Lamont, Steve clears it to center ice. Goodhue out there, along with John Masowitz forechecking. Lamont on, along with Gittler on the defense. And on center ice, the steal by Hatfield. Down that left wing side, Lamont penetrating. And that's Masowitz make that. There's a broken stick. Goaltender back into the net for Detroit. And losing his stick is Jack White. Now wants the hand pass, but his helper, Ted Herman, doesn't read the play and skates away. I mean, the play was correct by White, but he didn't get any help. Now over the line, Detroit 3-on-1 drive by Cleveland. Oh, that got the goaltender up high. And I think it hit that protective plastic covering just under the chin, but nonetheless, puck shot that well up high can always be a problem.
That was Al Cleland's drive. He's been perhaps the most spectacular Red Wing on attack. High drive, got the goaltender clearing the mask. He's down, as you see here on the screen.
You know, there's a camaraderie most often by hockey players. I know the Flyers were often merciless. They'd get a practice shot like that, and a Gary Innes or a Bob Taylor or a Pront would go down, and the players would circle, and Rick McLeish said, "My shot got him." And Reggie Leach said, "No, my shot got him." Or Phil Mears laying there going, "Oh."
Yeah, it's shooting gallery time, and the guy's getting his throat sort of straightened out.
But, Dick, isn't that sort of an unwritten feeling? I mean, all hockey players don't have much sympathy for pain because they all endure it, so it's nothing unusual.
Yeah, it's spitting out teeth like chiclets, guys like Clark. That's true. Bobby Clark said to me one time, Gene, speaking about that sort of play, if he hadn't learned once or twice to lay on a wicked two-hander to check somebody across the ankles, he wouldn't have left Flin Flon, Manitoba. Sure, it's a game that can have blood and lots of sinew, and there isn't a great deal of respect for people that callow out.
Greg Mack, the goaltender who was injured on that play, is out of Buffalo, New York. He's in his second year of reach for the Stars. Last year he played goal, but then with the Boston Bruins, who were the heavy favorites for the Cup but didn't win, and the scoop on Greg that he wanted the Cup badly this year. He thinks New York was the club. He wasn't right, but he has the opportunity to get a little consolation glory with the win here, but his club is trailing 5-1, but he was not involved in the 5 goals as he took over for Owen Wismer in the second period. We have 17:20 remaining in the second period. Cleland over the line in that same position into the left wing corner. Centers, nice save in there by Mack, coming right back after the injury. Point play by Jack White, retrieving a new blade in around behind the Ranger net. Cleland can't handle it, and into the near side. It's played by Goodhue, but not out. Herman looks, plays it in front, trying to make a nice tap in to Courtney was Coburn. That play didn't come to fruition, and Jay Masowitz in his own left wing corner clears it up to Hatfield, and Hatfield tries to tap it out. Jack White doesn't let him, so Hatfield retreats behind his own net, pivots in the corner and smartly sends it up on the left wing to Steve Lamont. Lamont into center to Jay Masowitz, trying to file Neil Goodhue at Detroit line. Goodhue is screened off by Ted Herman of the Red Wing defense, and that allows Cleland to skate free at center ice, past the stick check of Jay Masowitz, who picks him up, slashes at him, but again, Cleveland carries the puck into the zone. Hash marks, left circle, flips one in front, rolls wide of the goal, into that far corner. Courtney for Detroit picks it up. That's John Courtney into the corner to Al Cleland. Courtney in front of the net. There's a shot, a score! And doing the right thing, it appeared that Courtney knocked down that knee-high shot by Cleland and got it through Mack, and it's 6-1 Detroit.
Al Cleland made a lot of the play for that particular goal. He's been pretty prominent. And that constant pressure finally let Mack allow a goal to go in to make it 6-1.
4:07 unofficially the time. Don't have to do much to redirect that. Just get a little piece of it.
Happened. Little tip in.
Dick, in your day, who was best at that in front of the net, directing pucks?
It's interesting. When I was a child, and when you were, I guess, a child as well, the guy that did that maybe better than anybody was a guy called Gordon Drillin. Just died. Toronto Maple Leaf right winger.
I think probably.
Just go ahead.
I was going to say probably today that honor might go to Tim Kerr. Oh, the Philadelphia Flyers. All right, Howard
does that really well.
There's a dump in. Mack the save. And Detroit keeps on the pressure. Steve Katz, who has scored one of the 6 goals, fields it around to the offensive left side. Fred Thomas tries to center it, blocked by Tom Hull of the Ranger defense. He comes out of his own right wing corner, harassed, spins away from the forechecking of Billy Wilson, tied up. Bruce Hood better get out of the way. And the Rangers try to come out up on their left side. This time it's Steve Katz, but Howe doing a nice job. Finally a strip to the puck. Picked off at the point by Daniger. His long drive, good save. Rebound in front by Howe. He loops it, and the Rangers finally get it out of their zone. They trail to the Rangers 6-1 with 14:30 remaining in the second period. Penetrating down that side is Roger Redford, but his pass, a drop one along the goal line right, is picked off by Billy Wilson. He gets it up to Howe, and the Red Wings almost a 2-on-none at center ice. And now we have an offside call as the Rangers penetrate the zone before clearing, and we have a stoppage. Dick, as I was going to say, Kerr along with Gordie Drillin, 2 great directors in front.
Yeah, certainly what happened, I think I've heard guys say in the NHL that the redirecting of the puck was perhaps started by the line of Drillin on right wing, Sylvanus Apps at center, and Bob Davidson, the checking left winger for the Maple Leafs 45 years ago. But in our time, there's no question, Kerr is the best that does it now in the National Hockey League. And I think at this stage, as we talk, is something like 14 goals, or 13 anyway, this season.
How about last year, 34 power play goals? There was a time when teams wouldn't get that many in a year.
Precisely.
Well, we haven't had a penalty called yet by Red Story and Bruce Hood, are 2 of the more creative officials in hockey.
Creative in the sense that they don't call stuff. That's right.
We have a forechecking try by the Rangers, and again, we have an offside.
Get our cameras focused on Mr. Howell. He's wearing number 10. He's the tallest person here. I think the tallest player in this series. 6'5", 200 pounds, from Morristown, New Jersey. And he's a first-year player, and they call him Swoop. I guess everybody over 6'4" is called Swoop. Used to be a guy called Swoop Carlton.
Wayne Carlton. Played for Boston, I guess the Toronto Toros. Yeah. All right, play at center ice. Detroit leads 6-1, but a long way to go. 13 minutes in the second period. Bourgault out to Hammond. Centering pass. Beautiful play. And Randy White was stoned by Greg Mack, who has come back well after being injured about 5 minutes ago on a shot by Al Cleland.
Leo Bourgault's had a rather substantial game, I think, Gene. 5'9", 190 pounds. Flying Frenchman from Montreal, Quebec.
Play is on. Back to the point. Kept in by Herman. Ted Herman, there's a shot. Nice save. And goaltender Mack seems to favor the butterfly style that has been brought back into good effect by John Van Beesbrook of the Rangers. The Rangers come back over the line. There's a backhand shot tried by Jay Friedman. The Red Wing defense converges in between the 2 circles, blocks off the shot. And here comes Bourgault at center. Left wing in Cleveland, and those have been the 2 dominant forwards thus far in the game, along with Randy Rambo White for Detroit. Rangers try to go blue line to blue line. Stopped, and now Kachuk will turn. trying to find an opening. Oh, he's going in all alone. Kachuk one-on-one. Shot, score! And the Rangers have drawn within 4. That goal coming at 8:09 of the second period. Walter Kachuk.
Walter Kachuk, born in Germany and played with the Rangers through all of his career. 127 goals, 151 assists, and that's substantial. Only thing he didn't get to do was play in a Rangers Stanley Cup team. They haven't done that in New York since 1940.
Maybe the most unusual thing that Kachuk actually, if you recall, Dick, went through his whole first year being called Taychuk.
Interesting.
And then he said, well, it's really Kachuk. And I said, well, why did you wait a year? He says, well, as a rookie, I didn't want to be pushy.
He told me nobody asked me, is what he said. As a kid, nobody asked me. But that's right, he was called with a Manhattan broadcaster, Taychuk.
All right, now, and it's a 6-2 game. Let's see if that goal by Kachuk gets some spark into the New York offense. There's a play up ice. There's a breakdown that left side by Hatfield, but cutting across is Fred Thomas of the Detroit defense. The play it off to Howe from Craig Daniger, but the Rangers forechecking again. There's a play in front. Nice setup for Lamont by Hatfield. Now it goes back to the point, and both Gittler and Neil Goodhue for the Rangers miss it. It comes into center ice. Driven back in on a delay offside to the Detroit zone, and that's waved off as Howe smoothly brings it into the neutral zone past Jay Masowitz, who has one of the 2 Ranger goals. Howe along the goal line tries to center. He had a man in front. New York cuts that off very well as they tightened their defense considerably here in the second period. Jay Masowitz tries to come out, and a dump in from the blue line by Coburn is grabbed by goaltender Greg Mack, and though there was no pressure, he decides to hang on for the face-off. With 10:13 remaining in the second period, Detroit leading this Reach for the Stars Stanley Cup consolation game 6-2.
Rangers have come back strongly here in the second period, Gene, and it may be that the shortage of manpower on the Detroit bench is having some effect with the Trober line no longer here or intact. And they've got Bill Gadsby, who normally has been playing in this series, as a non-playing coach today.
All right, play is on. Can you imagine 3 Red Wings under Jack Adams say, I can't make the game, I've got to go win a business trip? All right, down that left side. It's cleared into the Detroit zone, in on goaltender Lasky, and the Red Wings cleared out the center ice. Billy Wilson there, he's got a man in front, tries a shot, it's blocked off, score! And that by Billy Wilson, number 99. And Detroit again opens up that 5-goal lead at 7-2. That goal coming in officially at 10:50 of the second period.
That happened off a rebound. And Bill Wilson, 5'10", 180 pounds. He's from New York City. In fact, he was born there. They say he was a pressure player in last year's series, and that would indicate he's still some kind of pressure-packed representative when he scored that goal for Detroit. 7-2, Gene.
I asked him why he wore number 99. He says, it'll take me 99 years to get as many points as Gretzky does in one. All right, we have a call by Red Story, and he said, nice call. And for the first time in his career, he was applauded from the Detroit bench.
Billy Wilson, assisted by number 6, Steve Katz.
All right, Billy Wilson from Steve Katz. All right, and the score now is 7-2. Still a long way to go. Up ice, Masowitz is stopped by the check of Herman, said Herman. Back into the Ranger zone where it's played out by Nadowski from Tom Powell into the Ranger zone. Jack White has been a tower of strength for Detroit on the defense. Gets it up on the right side, and Cleveland, can he outrace the Rangers? They pick him up. He's along the right circle in front. And Katz was there, but the pass eluded him, and the Rangers slap it through into the neutral zone. Racing after it is Redford, along with Barry Maloney, but they can't do much offensively, and the Red Wings penetrate Jack White's shot on, and it was blocked down the left wrist of goaltender Mack, but the whole play offside. 7:35 remaining second period from Lake Placid, the Olympic Arena. Detroit 7-2 over the Rangers in this Reach for the Stars Stanley Cup not semifinal, it's the consolation round. And we're happy here Can-Am doing all of this fine work for these young men, and Bauer Skates, and of course Louisville, and most appropriately Bud. And all of you watching, this one's for you.
This Bud's for everybody.
Shot on. Mack, who's been very strong in this period, makes the save. That try generated by Rambo White. He has one of the goals in the game for Detroit. Tying up in the corner, White has Jay Gottfried wrapped up, and Bruce said, let's have a face-off in the Rangers' defensive left circle.
I think goaltender Mack has probably played a stronger game since he got hit by that puck from Cleveland. He's been very alert in the Ranger net.
That's one of the old great line. I needed that, Dick, to wake me up. Point shot, and he makes a fine save. And the centering pass picked off, but Rambo White digs it out of the offensive left corner for Detroit. He's chased into that corner by Jay Gottfried. Wayne Ambrose in there for New York. And it's centered by Bourgault. Howe trying to shot. It is blocked off nicely by Ira Gittler. Taken off by Howe into the offensive right corner. He's got Bourgault as a trailer. It's blocked off. Howe then sweeps into the offensive left corner as Gordie Howe starting to dominate this shift. To Bourgault, into Howe at the goal line right of Mack. Howe in front, looks, and doesn't take the shot. Waits too long, tries to tie it with a ribbon, and the Rangers break out on the left wing at center ice. One man back, Bourgault. The pass through to Ambrose. Ambrose on the far side, and unable to handle it is Jay Friedman. And Howe is at both ends of the ice, works it up at center. A 4-on-2 break for Detroit. Over the line. There goes Bourgault to Howe, and Howe is stopped on the good back checking of Jay Friedman, followed up by Daniger. His shot with Rambo. White screening in front for Detroit is deflected wide to Bourgault at the left point. Into the offensive left corner. Gordie Howe works. Gittler just working on things. Bourgault in a shot. What a save. Rebound score by Randy White. And that's his second, and it's 8-2 Detroit. That's an easy one to read. Rambo White from Bourgault and Gordie Howe at 14:30.
Yeah, Mr. White came in there and managed to get a rebound. There were two shots before that. And finally, Mack relented, couldn't get back on his feet, and that's led to that goal, 8-2. The Whites have been pretty prominent in this hockey game for Detroit.
It was 5-1 Detroit after the first period. Detroit's up that lead by outscoring the Rangers 3-1 in this period. The New York goals, John Masowitz in the first period, Walter Kachuk in the second. For Detroit, Randy White has 2. Bill Wilson 1. Courtney 1. Steve Katz 1. Leo Bourgault 1. Gordie Howe 1. And Al Cleland 1 as they distribute the scoring. All right, here comes Masowitz back over the line. Drive, and that's blocked off as it never reached Mack. Courtney in that far corner for Detroit. Wheels it around to the near side. No play for Ted Herman as he's forechecked off the puck by Vic Hatfield. Hatfield to the point to Howell. Tom Howell's shot deflected wide. Masowitz picks it up in front, tapped away, and nicely by the Detroit goaltender Lasky. And we get a stoppage of play with 4:10 remaining second period. Detroit 8 and the Rangers 2.
Let's just speak about Lasky, the Detroit goaltender. He has not quite as much work in this period, but he's the reason they had that big lead in the first period. 5'9", 950 pounds, from Toronto, but now living in California. Had a junior hockey career, so he comes with some credentials to play in this tournament.
Play in front. There's a shot just wide by Tom Howell. Hatfield tries to center. And there it is in front again, and no shot as it was taken off the stick of Neil Goodhue, number 19 for the Rangers, as Detroit comes 2-on-2 to center ice. Dan Coburn over the line, but to his left, John Courtney is offside. Neil Goodhue, we just talked about that play for the Rangers in front, is another big guy. He's 6'2", 290 pounds. New York recruited him, and he's from Oakland, California, where they used to have a hockey team called the Seals. Comes highly recommended by the Bird Dogs of the Bay Area.
Listen, it's interesting. If there'd still be a hockey club out there, he'd be playing for Charlie Finley. Lovable old choleric Charlie Finley had that hockey club. And
one time I said, Dick, that any league that gives up San Francisco for Cleveland and Atlanta for Calgary is doomed, but that prophecy hasn't come to fruition.
They just seem like, shall we say, bush towns compared to the other places, and of course that's a little bit presumptuous of me to say that.
What was strange when you think about it, that Atlanta was averaging 13,000 and Oakland 11,000, and it wasn't enough. And there have been a lot of teams since that would have been happy with those figures.
Enjoyed to have those kind of figures. Certainly the Atlanta figures were very gratifying for most teams in the league today.
Masowitz broke in 2-on-1 for the Rangers on that thrust. Couldn't handle it, and back comes Coburn over the line, racing into the left wing corner. Drop pass. Got through Cleland, and on the far side, got through John Courtney, and the Rangers come down that left wing at center ice. working into the zone. Masowitz, and he stripped nicely of the puck by the back-checking Al Cleland, who's been a dominant player at both ends of the ice this evening for Detroit. Up ice, the Red Wings at the line. Nice stripping of the puck by Ranger defenseman Steve Lamont. New York come back, and they have to gamble as they trail by 6 with less than 2 minutes remaining in the second period. Masowitz puts it in front. The Rangers had 2 men there, unable to handle was Barry Maloney. It comes in front again. They slap at it. Good try in front for the Rangers, Murray Masowitz. But Detroit covered up, and it sent all the way down into the New York zone as we come down to 1.5 minutes remaining in this second period. 8-2 Detroit. Gottfried up on the left side to Steve Lamont, and then through into center ice Roger Redford. Probably be
the brother of.
Yeah, 2,000 more people here. Seeing if Robert Redford were shot on the net. Oh, rebound, score. That shot from the right left point by Coburn hit the post, and all Cleland did was tap it to the far side, and a player whose number we did not catch, but we will in a second, gets credit for the goal, and I think that was Jack White. But we'll just wait for the official. It's now 9-2 as we're in the final minute of play of the second period.
Dan Coburn very effective in that particular goal-scoring effort to make it 9-2 for Detroit. Coburn is from California, and he's a rookie with this Red Wing team in this Reach for the Stars competition. A team of guys like Gordie Howe, and of course your rookiness wears off pretty quickly, Jim.
Well, they're going to give that goal to Fred Thomas from Cleland and Coburn. That figures at 19 minutes. 30 seconds remaining in this period. 9-2, dominant control by Detroit. Kachuk can't force or stop the outlet pass, which rolls deep in on the Ranger net. Greg Mack on the right side at center, and here comes New York with one last thrust. Ambrose in there along with Kachuk. Kachuk behind the net has Jay Friedman in front. Pass taken off by, you guessed it, Gordie Howe. Gets it out of harm's way, around behind the net, up on the far wing, where it's cleared to center ice. Steve Katz down that right side over skates as his stick was lifted by Nadowski. Back comes New York. Before a play can be made into the offensive zone, we come to the end of the second period with the score. The Detroit Red Wings 9 and the New York Rangers 2. A summary of that period. John Courtney made the score 6-1 with a goal at 4:07. Walt Kachuk brought the Rangers back to 6-2 with his first of the evening, and then 3 unanswered goals from Detroit by Billy Wilson, by White, and then by Fred Thomas. White, by the way, getting his second of the game, and that made it 9-2, and we've had no penalties, and we'll wait for the official shots on goal. But we'll be back with more, and particularly the big third period with the score after 2. Gene Hart here along with Dick Beddoes. Detroit leading the Rangers. We welcome you back to the Olympic Arena in Lake Placid. Gene Hart along with Dick Beddoes as we're prepared for the third period of this Reach for the Stars consolation game prior to our Stanley Cup finals. This features the New York Rangers and the Detroit Red Wings, with the Red Wings in command at 9-2. To the left, we have a new goaltender for Detroit, Chester Thomas, affectionately known as the Rev, because he is one. And I'm going to ask Dick Beddoes as soon as he sits down as the Rangers penetrate. Kachuk shot right on the rebound, kicked away. We have a Reverend in the net now for Detroit, and I wonder what a Reverend says after he gives up a bad goal.
Judas Priest is what he says.
Used to play in the International League, I know. Jay Friedman in, and he shot wide as he had the long side available to him. Kachuk screens it off to keep it along the offensive right wing. Cuts inside Jack White's check. Puts it in front. Backhand shot deflected away by Chester Thomas. That shot generated from in tight by Steve Lamont, who quickly scoots back to a less defensive position. Lamont picks off a clearing pass. Drives it into the offensive left corner. Friedman in front. Ambrose pass is picked off by Detroit, and they send it through at center ice. Rambo White, who has a shot at a hat trick with 2 goals, is putting pressure on Kachuk, who crosses at Tom Howell on the right side, away from the forechecking of Dan Coburn of Detroit, and the puck at center ice with Friedman penetrating. He's got a trailer. Lamont tries a shot in on net, and Chester Thomas steers it to the near side. Centering pass by Lamont, and unable to handle is Jay Friedman. Gets it behind the net, and then takes it back himself along the offensive right side. But Dan Coburn of the Red Wings tries to steal. Then Randy White in, but Friedman gets it back to the point. Dumps it in, does Tom Howell from the right side. Cross-ice pass, Lamont on the carom, into the circle, a shot. Good save by goaltender Thomas, making his debut in this third period, and the game remains 9-2 Detroit. as the Rangers putting good offensive pressure on, but unable to pick up the cigar. Jay Masowitz, who has one of the 2 Ranger goals, sweeps away from the forechecking at his own line of Randy White, and then plays a 2-liner into Tom Howell. And Howell now is upset at Jack White, and we have our first confrontation. And even in reach for the Stars, Dick Beddoes, they gooned it up.
A lot of lip coming there, a lot of conversation, but the Reverend Chester Thomas came out of the goal to kind of pacify things with referee Bruce Hood. Only in hockey could you get a referee like Hood, thief, and in goal, Chester Thomas, a Reverend. I notice he's going down a lot, but I guess when you're in the priestly racket, being on your knees is a position that you take with some regularity. Reverend Chester Thomas is 5'10", 190 pounds. He's from North Hinsdale, New Hampshire. And he looks like he hasn't missed too many meals lately, Gene. He's a portly sort.
I guess you don't refer to his using the butterfly style as genuflecting.
Genuflecting is the word.
All right, the Rangers cleared out of their zone, and they've got to take it to Detroit now as Daniger, for the Red Wings, loses it at center. Nadowski over the line along with Hatfield. Centering pass to the far side. Neil Goodhue can't handle it. And the Rangers, though, keep it in. Goodhue, offensive right corner dump to Hatfield. Hatfield wheels it back to the point. Drops it off there, and it's driven in on the net. Good save by the Rev as Jay Masowitz tries to center the clearing pass in front. Now picks it off for Detroit. Loops away from Masowitz's forechecking. Screens it off, works around to the left side, uses the net as a screen, and then comes back to near side. You think he intends to keep it the rest of the period, Dick? I mean, it's possible.
Like a yo-yo.
Here he is at center. Into the zone, Billy Wilson, who has 1 goal. In tight, shot, score! And the Red Wings at double figures, and Billy Wilson becomes the second Detroit 2-goal scorer.
That's Billy Wilson, and he is 5'10", 180 pounds. He's from New York City. And as we told you in the second period, established himself last year's a pressure player. I'm not sure when you're leading 10-2, you have much pressure on you. But Howe made that good pass. Mr. Wilson was there. Certainly Howe controlled the play all the way up the ice on that one, Gene.
That goal was scored against Owen Wismer, who played the first period. Greg Mack the second, and now Wismer back in. Masowitz out, along with Maloney and Redford for the Rangers. Defensively, Howell on one side as there's a steal at center ice. Cleveland looking for his second goal is in. Drive! Whoa! That was a fine save. Rebound! And it's a hat-trick goal by Randy Rambo White.
Rambo White pouncing on a puck. Wismer had got the puck at his feet, couldn't fall on it, and White pounced. That's why they call him Rambo.
And of course, he comes from one of the fine hockey areas of the country, Detroit.
You know, it may be, Gene, in our game, the NHL, it may be the best area. 20,000 fans in Joe Louis Arena. 20,000 fans.
Well, I think after a tradition of winning and now a tradition of losing, I hope Jacques Demers has brought back some winter to Detroit, because a great hockey town, they deserve it, particularly in that marvelous building. All right, Bourgault, one of the goal scorers for Detroit, sweeps down that right wing side into the right wing circle. Brown behind the net, puts it out in front, but Redford is able to clear it away for Detroit. But Bourgault, who's all over the ice, tries to swing out on a loop at the blue line to make a play, and it's taken off and sent down the ice by Redford of the Rangers, forechecking along with Maloney. Rangers, though, can't keep it in as the Red Wings work it out smartly to center and take it up on the left wing. Bourgault coming along with Cleland. Bourgault into that left wing corner, around behind the net, looks for White in front, and this time, up, what do we got? We have our first penalty of the game, and it looks like Tom Howell is going off for the Rangers. So we'll now see, Dick Beddoes, how the Detroit power play functions.
They really don't need much of a power play, Gene, leading 11-2. I thought Red Story was going to let everything go, but he's heartless. Rangers are losing by 9 goals, and he still calls a penalty on Mr. Howell, the tallest guy in Lake Placid.
3:42 the time of the goal, the first in the game. Howell for cross-checking. And the Detroit power play has Wilson out with Katz. The faceoff taken by Jack White. At one defensive position Fred Thomas, and at the other trailing after the puck is Craig Daniger. Now we get a stoppage. Oh, Red Story forgot that the Rangers were skating short and whistled an icing and made that correction. Calls for it at center ice.
What was that? Here's Story. He just called a penalty and forgot he'd called it. Guys get old, I guess, and it's like Alzheimer's time. And Story forgot he'd called a penalty.
Into the zone. Kachuk swinging to the left. Shot! Oh, unbelievable save by Chester Thomas. Got it in that left glove.
Okay, Reverend, go get him.
I wonder if his song would be Nearer My Goal to Thee.
Nearer my goal to thee. Nearer.
Kachuk, offensive left circle, and loses it to Detroit. Remember, they're on the power play for another minute and 40 seconds. Billy Wilson is...
A marvelous play off the bench by Hadfield.
Probably the best one he's ever made off the bench in his career.
It was just remarkable.
Into the zone. Daniger works the puck, but it's blocked off nicely by Steve Lamont. And we get an offside Detroit. We have 15:40 remaining in the third period, 11-2, but lots of good hockey remaining. Rangers keep digging in there. And of course, our big game coming up, the Stanley Cup final. Chicago with Mr. Mikita, and Toronto with the big M, Mahovlich. Kachuk now breaks up ice against Daniger. Over the line, he's got a shot up the middle. Drive wide to the right of goaltender Thomas. And Detroit coming back as the Rangers did that short-handed. But Kachuk couldn't find a hole. Steve Katz penetrates on the offense. Daniger up the middle. Drive and a good left pad save by Owen Wismer in the Ranger net. Puck behind the New York goal. Nadowski works it up on his own right side, and it's picked up by Wayne Ambrose and iced for New York.
Detroit power play hasn't been that good. They don't need any goals, of course, but they've only had one shot in this power play, Gene.
Fred Thomas, who wears a helmet, not for protection, but because the glare emanating from his head might be too tough for our TV cameras, and he refused to wear a lampblack there. So Dick and I try to bring you all of the inside of this game and not just the superficiality of shots.
That's right. We give it 4 dimensions rather than a flat one. We won't tell you how many bottles of Bud or cans of Bud have been consumed, I suppose, but Bud wouldn't mind that.
I'll tell you how much have been consumed. Each of these players could be left out overnight bare, and none of them would freeze.
Gene, it's coffee time. Thank goodness for that. That a girl, Cecilia.
I'm not going to drink it. I'm going to pour it on my nose. Vic Hatfield is coming out into our picture with one of the really deft, classy lines in hockey with Rattel and Gilbert.
Ooh, the gag line. That was some kind of line.
All right, penetrating Detroit. They still have 15 seconds on the power play. And John Courtney has one of the 11 Detroit goals, forechecking behind the net. And the Rangers are able to spring it free to Hatfield along his own left side. Pivots out of that corner, starts up at center, works it away past the check of Detroit's Courtney and feeds back into his own zone. So it's killing time. The penalty is over, and the Rangers are at full strength. Hatfield can't accept the lead pass along the left wing, so Steve Lamont chases it. Ted Herman around behind his net for Detroit to Howe. Howe is double-teamed, and that's an even standoff. Out comes Detroit out of their left corner.
He's only 60, that's right. I mean,
down in that right corner, around behind the net. There's a steal from the goaltender by Courtney. In front, but nobody there except Steve Lamont. Well, let's pass Vic Hatfield into the Detroit zone, where Ted Herman picks it up. No pressure, around to the far side to Howe. Howe gives it away. Rangers into the slot to Hatfield. Shot! And Chester Herman is unbeatable.
I'll tell you, that Priestley goaltender is something. On his knees or however, the guy is making some splendid saves for Detroit.
Dick, in your long time tenure in Canada in hockey, can you ever recall a priest or a reverend actively taking part in the league?
No, yes, in fact there is. A fellow called Father Les Costello was in the Maple Leaf chain and felt the hand of God upon his shoulder before he turned pro, and in fact has the Flying Fathers, they're called, in Northern Ontario. Les Costello, Father Les Costello.
Puck comes to the Ranger line, and we're going to have an offside. Might I also remember a name, Bauer, that was involved perhaps in the national team?
Reverend Father David Bauer, who was a fine junior in Canada in the about 45 years ago Oshawa Generals, could have turned pro with the Boston Bruins. He too felt the urge to go to higher things and children's games, and he became a priest who, as you say, very big in Hockey Canada, in fact started. He was the founder of Hockey Canada for Canada in international play.
Barry Maloney shoots it for the Rangers behind the New York net. Roger Redford chases in. Rangers forecheck, but a nice move by the Red Wings, springing it out along the right wing at center ice. That's Bourgault, who is probably one of the finer skaters on the ice for either club. His partner Daniger takes it behind the net away from the forechecking of the Rangers' Barry Maloney. And here comes Detroit at center ice. Pass behind Rambo White, who's been the offensive star of the game with 3 goals and an assist. Puck cleared down into the Detroit defensive zone. Daniger almost overskates, taken into his own left corner, knocked down by Barry Maloney, trying to spring it free for New York's Roger Redford. And here come the Red Wings 3-on-1. Down that right side, breaking into the zone. Cleland offside as whistled by Red Story.
They were telling me over in the Ranger dressing room between the second and third periods that if they could finally handcuff Howe to some radiator or some post somewhere, they might have a chance. That didn't happen. He's still playing and still looking formidable. He's not quite 60. I think he's 58. Born in 1928.
Recently, there was a book put out, Dick, and it said, what do the following players all have in common? And each page was 2 columns, single space, 14 pages. And the answer was all NHL players who had assisted on a Gordie Howe goal. And it looked like the encyclopedia of the league.
Played 33 seasons as a pro. 33. There he is.
At center ice. Coming along with Courtney and Coburn. Drops to Coburn in front. But both Howe and Courtney were bumped off the play, and no goal, but Howe forechecking offensive right side. Tom Howell, who has the game's only penalty, is harassed, spins away from Howe, and also away from Courtney, away from Coburn. Nice move by Tom Howell, and away too far for Steve Lamont at center ice. Bruce Hood has the hand up for potential icing, and there's the call.
Howe got a penalty. I think Howe, who could use the stick wickedly, I think after the play, got his stick up in Howell's face, and will do some time. Referee Story, you see him down there.
Was his line with Lindsay and Abel, was that the production line?
That was the production line for Detroit, late 40s, early 50s.
And of course, in our next game, we're going to see a member of a line, Dennis Hull with Pitt Martin and Jimmy Pappen. I think that was called the MPH line.
They played for that Chicago team in the mid-60s, and productive they were.
I always thought that Dennis Hull never got the credit for his excellent career that he should, as if, well, he's not as good as his brother Bobby, but who was, but in his own right, a great player.
Fine left winger, but if you play in the shadow of Robert Marvin Hull, you don't have a lot of time to grow in the eyes of the public and the press.
Centering play, kept in at the point, closing in, shot, score! And they finally beat Chester Thomas as a shot generated from the point was driven home by Murray Masowitz, and it now is 11-3 as the Rangers chop just a bit into that big Detroit lead.
A power play goal, and scored by John Masowitz, 5'6", 165 pounds. He's the son of the coach of this Ranger team, and they're from Medford, New Jersey.
About 30 miles east of Philadelphia. By the way, that gives Masowitz 2 of the 3 Ranger goals, and it comes at 8:38. Oh, they're changing that. No, we're right. Moskowitz from Jay Friedman. Centering pass, and the Rangers now working out along the near side. Get it to center ice, and they come 2-on-2. Jay Friedman crisscrosses with Ambrew, and Wayne shot off the glove of Chester Thomas behind the Detroit net, where it's taken off by Daniger. Nice forechecking shot. Oh, and it just trickles wide off. The play by Kachuk, and again the defensive save by Chester Thomas. Kachuk around behind the net, gets it back to the point. Tom Howell, a shot chopped down in front. They scramble. Back to Howell. He looks to shoot again, right on. But this time it's tipped away from the side of the net by defenseman Craig Daniger, and away to Rambo White looking for his 4th goal. He's in, drive, and that time Goen Wismer was the better. In front, 2-on-1. Cleveland and tucked away. Drive toward the net. And Cleveland waited too long. And this time Wismer, who has lost his stick, used that blade to poke check the puck away as Cleveland tried to draw back and go topside. And the Rangers again get it out of harm's way with 10-12 remaining in this third period. Gene Hart, along with Dick Beddoes, reach for the Stars. Stanley Cup consolation game, Detroit and the New York Rangers from the Olympic Arena in Lake Placid. Reach for the Stars, a Can-Am production. And we also thank Budweiser.
Yes, sir. That Bud's for everybody in America and Canada.
And, of course, Bauer and Louisville as we get a jam up behind the Ranger net to our right. We're going to have to pick the 3 stars. And
well, you'd be looking at Rambo White, I think. You've had lots of reason to call him and call him well this afternoon. I'm impressed by some of the goaltending, although the goaltenders have changed a lot. Without question, you'd have Rambo White, I think.
I'm just wondering whether, you know, all the scouting done by the Rangers and with Rambo White wearing Lorino's jersey with number 19 didn't confuse them.
Possibly, possibly.
With all, as Freddie Fura says, the films. Now Hatfield, fortunate shot. And I tell you, Chester Thomas does not have a real great style, but he does one thing that's key for goaltenders. He's kept the puck out of the net.
The good ones make their own style, don't they?
Dick, who is the worst styled good goaltender you remember?
The worst styled good goaltender, I think, would be Glenn Hall. Now, Hall was called Mr. Goalie in Chicago, a flopper, down a lot, the butterfly style, as you talked about, an acrobat, unlike Terry Sawchuk, who was completely choreographed. I think a good goaltender would be Hall, Glenn Hall.
All right, the play out of the Ranger defensive zone. Hatfield at center ice turns. Works up on the left side, has help, trying to feed through to Masowicz, who has 2 of the Ranger 3 goals. Round behind the Detroit net. There's Fred Thomas trying to break it out. The Rangers forechecking to keep it in. Howe then takes it away from Masowicz, who goes back to his defensive position. Howe ambles around behind the net. Nice reverse pass to Fred Thomas out of the Detroit left wing corner and through to Courtney. John through into the Ranger zone, has some support. Tries a shot that's smothered by Nadowski of the Ranger defense. Taken behind Courtney, centering pass, comes back to center ice. As Ted Herman was a little late in picking up the blue line. Herman to Fred Thomas, to Gordie Howe. His style is beautiful.
Oh,
isn't it? Keeping it
effortless,
60 years.
effortless.
Look at that.
Sunday stroll through the park.
The curve of the stick, the holding of the blade. I mean, I guess those are skills you just don't lose.
You just don't. That's right. It's with him forever. He'll skate like this as long as he shall live. Effortless.
Well, his son has those same skills.
Oh, Mark's become a first-rate defenseman. Big pro.
Puck down in the Philadelphia zone. Lamont around behind the net. You know, Mark Howe gets a lot, all the accolades, but he said coming with Philadelphia how much he's learned about playing defense, particularly from his partner, Brad McCrimmon.
Brad McCrimmon happens to be pretty undersung by a lot of us. This guy deserves more all-star ratings than he ever gets. Brad McCrimmon can play defense.
Redford along with Maloney forechecking and Murray Masowicz. But the Rangers can't generate offense with 7:20 remaining in the third period from Lake Placid. Detroit with a 5-1 first period blitz, commanding the game at 11-3. Howe coming in with Bourgault, but Bourgault penetrates the zone. Howe had to wait, and in doing so, the Rangers' Roger Redford picks off the puck, loops off to his right, storms up in center, into the Detroit zone. Shot that just went wide to the right of Thomas, cutting off the pursuit of Redford, the Detroit defense. And now the Red Wings work up too far on the left wing. Bourgault takes it into the zone, picked up by Ira Gittler, drop pass to Cleveland. Boom! From the left circle. And Cleveland picks up his second goal of the game at 13-12 of the third period. Detroit 12 and the Rangers 3.
I'll tell you that Cleveland has had a pretty game, too. We would certainly be remiss in not mentioning him in the same breath with Rambo White. Al Cleveland, bulky sort of player, 5'8", 190 pounds. Out of Toronto in Ontario, but now lives in Glendale, California.
That, my friend, was a major league shot.
All the way, that one.
You know, goaltenders, you have to be a little crazy when somebody like that starts winding up on a little drop pass, coming in at full force and gets the stick above the shoulder.
I don't know what you tell goaltenders. Bernie Perrant would be able to tell them better than I can.
I'll give you his line. I said once, what do you try to do when Hull shoots? He says, you try not to get hit.
That's right. That's right. When Bobby Hull would hit Gene, it was like being hit with a crowbar or a large mallet. Terrible feeling.
Randy White penetrates, fires from left boards through the goal mouth area. Up for grabs along the near side. 2 Rangers in there. Lamont tries to steer it, and they break it center. Down that left side, Masowitz looking to go in, and he's taken at the side of the net nicely by Bourgault. Would not let him cut in. But then Masowitz from the opposite side of the net trying to center. It's blocked, put in front by Lamont, and the Rangers peppering away. 2 men in front, shot just wide. And that was generated by Barry Maloney. Back to Lamont at the point. No shot, flips it along the left wing side, and then a turnaround shot wide by Roger Redford, and it's picked up and sent by Fred White of the Detroit defense all the way down that far side over the goal line. Tom Howell for New York picks it up away from the forechecking of Detroit's Randy White. And here come the Rangers again. Redford over the line, 2-on-1. Masowitz in front, but the pass hit him in the skate. They give it away to Howell at the point. He's in and is shot wide from the top of the right circle. Rangers showed a lot of moxie here despite their 9-goal deficit with only 5.5 left. They're hanging tough and keep attacking. Now Leland in front, shot wide by Bourgault. In front it comes again. Scoots past the Rangers in front. And Roger Redford for New York at center, 2-on-4. At the line, shoots wide to the left of Rev Thomas. And as the Detroit players change on the go, down that right wing side trying to penetrate. And not doing so is Billy Wilson, who is the 2-goal scorer. Wilson with 2, Cleland with 2, and Rambo White with 3 have led the Detroit 12-goal blitz. We have 5 minutes remaining in regulation. Remember, if we get a tie, and anything's possible in hockey, we do play a 10-minute sudden death. And if we're still tied, a shootout. Over the line, right side, shot. And Rev Thomas uses that good left glove to clear the shot away up on the near side. And here comes Detroit at center ice. Steve Katz, he has 1 goal for Detroit. Stripped of the puck by Walter Kachuk at the New York line, up to Jay Friedman. He can't handle it. And then Friedman bumps into Ted Herman at the Ranger line, and they do a looking at one another as if to say, why did you do that? And we get a stoppage of play with 4:30 remaining in regulation.
9-goal deficit. Rangers are better than that, but goaltending has been pretty effective for Detroit, and especially so in this 3rd period with the Reverend Chester Thomas playing better than I would have thought a Priestley puck stopper could. Now we've got Howe. Howe, of course, has started some kind of altercation.
Oh, I think he caught. Did I hear penalty shot?
Penalty shot.
Is he doing a speech from Shakespeare, or did he call a penalty? I know.
He was doing, Red Story acted as though it was one of the soliloquies from Shakespeare. This is a dagger I see before me. It's puck before my hand or something.
Oh, what a Bush League slob am I. Now, all right, who's going to take the shot? Well, if Story had any courage right now, he'd call a bench minor against Detroit
right, he sure
for banging
would.
the sticks.
No gut Story, not calling anything. Penalty shot, Gene. Here it comes.
Right, gone right on in, and he lost the shot. That was Teddy Herman.
Had lots of time. The goaltender, Wismer, just stood his ground.
Ted Herman, what can we tell you about him? Along with Howe and Gadsby, one of the strong influences for this club. He's from Cumberland Center, Maine. Learned his hockey on the frozen ponds up there, and had his opportunity to put glory into this game, but did not control the shot. Remember that one playoff series against Chicago when the Big M, who will be in our 2nd game, had a penalty shot, took a slap shot against Tony Esposito from the blue line?
Sure do. You thought he'd have moved right in, right?
Yeah.
That's what you always do in a penalty shot.
Jay Friedman over the line for the Rangers, tries to sweep inside Howe, drops off to Kachuk, he's in, open side, oh, and the pass, and the shot was missed by Wayne Ambrose of the Rangers, and Detroit shoots it to center ice. Good opportunity from Wayne Ambrose, but no cigar. Wayne from Indianapolis, Indiana, tier veteran of our reach for the Stars, was signed as a free agent after working with the Bruins last year. Hope to add his experience here and his know-how to an inexperienced club. Hasn't helped today, but look for him back next year. Howe behind the net, going for a skate, working out to the left circle. Just 3:40 remaining in regulation. Drops back to Ted Herman. Nice sweep check by Nadowski, sends it up to center ice, and the Rangers have a 3-on-2. They work down into the left circle. That's Friedman, man in front, but shot in on the net, and there's Rev with that quick left glove to eat it up with 3:25 remaining in this third period, 12-3 Detroit. And again, our Reach for the Stars consolation game from Lake Placid, thanks to Bud and Louisville and Bauer and, of course, Can-Am.
I would guess if Chester Thomas did play a lot, he would get called Rev Thomas. R-E-V be the nickname, Rev Thomas. Handler there, Rev. And probably do christenings on the side.
Guess he ought to play for St. Louis.
Where's St. Louis?
Shot in front, score! And while
we said that.
And Masowitz gets the hat trick for the Rangers, the second one of the game. The other one going to Rambo White of Detroit.
The Masowitz had been robbed twice in this period by Reverend Chester Thomas in the Detroit goal, and so got one back.
That one coming at 16:39 of the third period.
Now for a big Ranger rally.
Puck into the zone. Remember, you can score 6 goals in about 3 minutes, and the Leafs did that a couple of years ago. Remember in that Pukamimi game with Chicago?
Did happen, that's correct.
Hang tough, gang. Stay with us. Rambo White loses the puck. Roger Redford in the Ranger zone being harassed by Billy Wilson. So it's peeled around to the right side, and Ira Gittler is able to play but not out. Jack White in tight, shoots wide to the left of goaltender Owen Wismer. Rangers try to come to center ice, and it's tapped out of the rink by Jack White.
Ira Gittler, I think he's one of the fine music writers in New York. He's one of the guys that's very big in jazz.
Yep, also covered some hockey for the Rangers.
Indeed.
All of his New York brethren said to be sure to rip Ira as often as you can in the game. You know, didn't cover his wing, got caught up ice.
Right, and gave the puck away. I once did a book, Gene, with him and Stan Fischler, whom you know, called Hockey. Marvelous guy, Ira Gittler. It's star time. We're going to pick Rambo White.
All right.
And I think we should get Masowitz.
Masowitz, yeah, John, with a hat trick and a losing cause, certainly, and a lot of courage.
Number 3, who would you say?
Well, let's hold that off to the end to see what happens.
You need him right.
Dick, and as we finish off Tom Howell, we're going to give Dick a chance to ask the book by Kenny Dryden, The Game, the best hockey book by a player or non-player in your time?
I think certainly the best by a player, because he did it himself without any help from a ghost, and most of those hockey books are ghosted. Hey!
All right, and while we're talking, hey, you know, while we talk about other things, the Rangers get hot. This time Roger Redford puts it in, and it comes at 17:39. It's now a 12-5 game as the Rangers putting honor back on the board for themselves.
Roger is from California, second year in Reach for the Stars, and he says he thinks he's sipped now from the fountain of youth. 6 feet, 175 pounds.
That has to be Budweiser.
Has to be Bud that's doing it. Fountain of Youth is full of Bud.
Ponce de Leon had found that. You think he'd have said, this one's for you?
This one, you know, if he'd have had a PR guy like you, you'd have had him say, this Bud's for you. Ponce de Leon.
Play at center ice, 12-5. The Rangers, though they appear to be going down to defeat, are finishing this game with a courageous flourish. Redford in again. Shot. Whoop, whistles it over the head of goaltender Thomas. Back to the point. Drive in on the net. That's fanned on by Jay Gutfried. There's another shot, and Chester Thomas grabs, falls off to his left. We'll have a stoppage and a face-off in the Detroit end with 1:54 remaining in regulation.
Gene, an alias, of course, for Ponce de Leon could be Gordie Howe.
I guess he found it. Shot in on the net off the face-off. Rangers showing good moxie.
Really coming back.
They're not acquiescing and playing out the string. They're just digging hard. What a great throw for all of them. With Gadsby here and all the others, what a marvelous week. Game for them.
All of us in our dreams would have thought of doing. Playing center ice at Madison Square Garden. Come on. Marvelous for everybody.
And in this building where so much great history over the last 6 years has been created.
No, we haven't talked about that. This is the same building where the fine American team in 1980 won the gold medal for hockey and did it with all of the North American conclave pulling for them.
Puck down behind the Detroit net, picked off. And you know, a lot of people figure the emotion and being in America, that's why the U.S. team won. But when you look back now and in current game, how many of that team not only are in the National Hockey League, but with wonderful careers. That was no fluke. That was a great, great hockey club.
Boy, that club could play. There's one of them playing for the Islanders, I think, went on to play in the Stanley Cup that year.
Yeah, Ken Morrow, in his first 4 years in the league, had won 4 Stanley Cups and 1 Olympic gold, and you can't do better than that.
How much can you better? That's correct.
In fact, he won the Olympic gold here in February, and then in May won the Stanley Cup against the Flyers in 1980. His cup death run is over.
Now, Gene, they've got 19 pucks on the ice.
All right. They're shooting in all directions.
It looks like they've scored 4 goals right here on top of this Detroit goaltender.
And it's confusion out on that ice as they keep pumping away.
Pucks are everywhere.
Yes. You take that end, I'll take the one to the left.
Okay, down in this end, we've got the Red Wings trying to score and have not.
Okay, down at the other end, the Rangers are having trouble 2-0, getting it past the Rev. There's the steal. Coburn to Rambo White. To Coburn, and we get a block off. And with 34 seconds remaining.
Who do we want for the third star? They're asking for it. Rambo White, Mr. John Masowitz.
How about, despite the score now, Stan Lasky, the goaltender for Detroit.
Stan Lasky.
Who kept, who had a lot of tough saves to make in the first, second period when the game was on the line. Through 2 periods, only allowed...
Good choice.
We're getting a play here.
12-12. They have now come to 12-12. In that skirmish or whatever it was, scrimmaging, Gene, they have made it 12-12 with 34 seconds left. You take it.
And the reason you didn't miss those 7 goals, we had gone to national news.
Yes, to get the latest fire in downtown Buffalo.
We've had a little technical problem, and as we join you now, it's 12-12 with a puck behind the Detroit net to our left.
What a comeback.
Red Wings steer around to the near side. Borgoa forechecked in this furious finish as Jay Masowitz, our unofficial second star with 3 goals, picks the puck up away from Rambo White in the Ranger end, swings around to the far side, puts it off the boards and into center ice. Over skating was Dan Coburn, and fighting for it along the near side, the Detroit defense and Craig Danager. Of regulation.
Sis, you're the big star in this hockey game.
Yes.
You win the big consolation prize. What's with the earring? I got to ask you, what's with the earring?
Well, it's not too bad. It didn't get caught on my sweater tonight, so I felt pretty good.
Nope.
Dick, California kid. Yeah.
Okay. Are you really a surfboarder? Are you really one of them beach bums?
Yeah, heck yeah. I was born and raised in Manhattan Beach, California.
Well, how the hell would you do anything about hockey down in California?
Well, see, I thought it would be like frozen waves, so I got out there and surf on the frozen ice, you know.
I want to tell you what they say about Howe when he was really good in the NHL. They say they should bottle Gordie's sweat. Be very good for mediocre hockey players.
Yeah, I'd buy some.
Be a fine tonic, right?
Yeah, Howeweiser.
Howeweiser, yeah. Gordie Howeweiser.
Buy some Howeweiser. Yes, you can play hockey with Gordie
Yes,
Howeweiser.
sir. Here we have with the original beach bum.
I think we got something here, Gordie. I think we're going to have to open it up.
Yeah, the Howeweiser. Now look at this. Now here's a couple guys.
This guy came into my life,
When it's
a
beach
few
bum
years
time.
ago. And he taught me hockey from Windsor, and he says, and we moved to West Hollywood, and it's like hockey was turned into our lives.
Believe it or not, there's one guy involved here sold his car to get here.
A guy sold a Porsche, Gordie, to play with you.
Yeah, we call him Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Remember that guy that got caught for dope?
That was the guy.
That was him, yeah.
Listen, in your time, there was nothing like this dope in the NHL. I was trying to get laid once in a while, but nothing serious, right? I mean,
yeah, that was serious.
Guys, a little bit like in the old days, we like to tip the odd one. And one night, guys come home, it's about 4 o'clock in the morning, and he got a sloop full. And Edna's waiting there at the door, and she says, what's the idea of coming home half drunk? Guy says, I ran out of money. Again, I'm not the first choice to be the speaker tonight. The first choice was the president of the Artificial Breeders of New York. We couldn't come, so.
You heard from the best when you heard from Big Dennis, but I just want to bring a sincere note and say that as spoken for the professionals and all the other gentlemen, it has been fun, it always will be fun, and I just hope the good Lord treats us with good backs and solid minds so we can come back and enjoy the company going you guys once again. Thank you.